Why, hello there. You ready to learn something cool? Because it's Positively Arting with Aggie time. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Positively Arting with Aggie. In our previous video, we explored how different shapes can represent various emotions. Today, we're going to bring those shapes to life. We're going to be creating characters with, you guessed it, a circle, a square, and a triangle, each embodying the emotion that aligns with its shape. So let's unleash our creativity. If you have a pen, paper, an eraser handy, that will be great. Have some extra paper handy just in case as well. If you have an iPad, grab that. Whatever you have, grab it because we are getting started right now. All right. Character design is not just about drawing, it's about infusing life and personality into our creations. So today, we are gonna use those three basic shapes I talked to you about, the circle, the square, the triangle, and we're gonna create characters that don't just look distinct, but they feel very emotionally different. Before we begin, just a little reminder of the shape language that we associate with these shapes. So circles often convey softness and comfort and security and all the cute stuff we like as well. Now squares and rectangles, they can represent stability and trust and strength, while we have triangles that imply movement, tension, danger, also excitement. Now that we have that reminder out of the way, let's get started. Character design, it is not just about drawing, it is about infusing life and personality into your creations. Before we get started, let's place our three shapes on our paper, our canvas, so we can begin. The circle, the square, and the triangle. You know what? Today I'm going to draw my triangle upside down. It's an upside down triangle. We're going to play around with it because it's dynamic, so why not? Each of these characters are not just going to look distinct, but they're also going to convey a totally different emotion. First up, the circle. Circles are soft and continuous, often associated with emotions like happiness and comfort. And we are going to draw a very happy character that embodies these emotions. So I'm envisioning something friendly, welcoming, very bubbly. And since I'm known for drawing cute, you're going to notice that my character designs do gravitate towards that. We're going to talk a lot more about cute characters in a future video, so don't you worry, but let's get you started with the basics. Whenever I draw, I always start establishing the center of my face, my body, wherever that might be. And since I'm drawing the character looking forward, I try to draw the line as center as possible. And then I'm going to draw the line which a lot of the features are going to sit on, such as the eyes. Now, since I do like to draw cute, this always sits in the middle or just under the halfway point of the face. So this is already setting my base for the character that I will be drawing. And now, since we are drawing a cute character today, why don't we start with some big, bubbly, welcoming eyes? I'm going to keep them round, playing around with a lot of the round features that we are going to be using to make this character feel very friendly. I'm going to give it big pupils to help play around with that friendly emotion. And I want to add reflections into the eyes. So if you have an eraser, erase some good little reflections, or if you haven't drawn your big black eyes yet, make sure to leave space for the reflections in them. I like to keep features very close together since I like drawing cute characters. So I'm going to draw this little happy face very, very close to the eyes, keeping everything as center as possible. And now, since this is a very cute, welcoming character, I feel like I want to give it a hug. So why don't we draw cute little arms that feel like they want to hug us right back. And then give it cute little stubby feet. That looks like Jigglypuff at this point, doesn't it? But Jigglypuff is cute and welcoming. And keeping in that idea, now that we have our features in place, why don't we play around with giving it some hair, other accessories, still focusing on keeping everything very round and bubbly. So I'm going to give my little friend a little curl and little whooshy hair, focusing everything on round, big shapes. Don't you want to give this character a little hug? Everything I did in this drawing is influenced by the overall feel of the character, from their body, the shape of it, to their cute little smiling face, even their poofy hair. Even their cute little stubby arms just make you want to snuggle them. So I made this character feel very happy and welcoming, using primarily only round objects. Now, when we work with a square, as I mentioned before, squares represent stability, reliability. So I really want to create a character that looks strong and dependable, maybe a tad serious. So I'm going to work with a lot more straight and sharp angles and make it a lot more different than the circle where we used a lot of straight lines. Now let's move on to the square. And once again, we want to set the center of our figure. And I want the features to sit quite low on this square. As you are sketching, think about how the shapes you are using not just influence the look of the character, but also think about their personality, their backstory. Helping create a story for the character will really help you pick features that bring it to life. So first of all, let's start with some heavy-duty eyebrows. I'm going to angle them slightly downwards to make this character feel very determined. And I'm going to be using those shape jaggedy lines, and I really want to play around with keeping as many of the characteristics in this character square. The one thing I am going to go and use a circle is I'm going to give him little beady eyes. He doesn't need big cute eyes to attract us to him. He's going to be strong and dependable. So I want to use little beady eyes. The really cool thing with playing around with shapes is I can also use a square as the base for maybe making him yell. So instead of a cute character where it's more of an oval, why don't we create more of a slightly rounded square to represent him yelling and give him some big teeth at the top. And I want to make little teeth at the bottom, still keeping with a lot of the rectangular shapes. The one thing that now I want to change up is I want to give him a tongue that looks as though he is screaming, ah! Yeah. You know what? You could also be your own reference. If you can't catch an emotion right, be your own reference. Go into the mirror, scream, smile, look sad, look at your own features, and then you could bring them to the characters that you are creating. So now I am going to give him arms, still keeping with that idea of strength. So I'm going to make his arms going upwards. I am using very rectangular shapes. And for his hands, I'm going to make the fingers very rectangular. So it looks like he's about to pounce, help us lift something. But he looks very powerful, like he's about to come over and lift that boulder for us. And instead of standing up straight, let's give him a little slouch standing look using a lot of rectangles, a little triangles, but keeping the focus of trying to make him look very powerful, very stable, because he's a determined little friend. And last but not least, he needs some hair. Why don't we give him little square-like hair? He's a very serious fellow. So he has bangs, means business. So now we can see how this character is very different than the cute one we created. And we focus primarily on using square shapes to form our, you guessed it, square character. So now let's move on to our triangle. And why don't we do something different with the triangle? Our first two, we drew them right down the middle, our baseline. Now it's time for the triangle. Why don't we try something a little different? Instead of drawing the baseline right down the middle, why don't we move it to the side and draw this character on a slight angle? And of course, my line across. And you know what? Why don't we give him little upside down triangle eyes? He looks almost curious with triangle eyebrows. We're really playing around with the shape. We're exaggerating it. We want this character to feel excited, happy, and even the mouth. Look at that. We can create a smile very different than our original one. And this smile feels more exciting for our very excited character that we're drawing today. Very punk-like triangle. So now we have a lot of shapes that we're playing around with. Why don't we make this guy a little more dynamic? Why don't we place a hand up in the air reaching? And for his hand, I want it more dynamic as well and focusing on triangle shapes. The hands, as you can tell, are so far very different. We have triangles, squares, circles. So it looks almost like he is leaping. And why don't we make him leaping? So I'm going to play around with one leg up, one leg down. So this character is a lot more dynamic. I'm trying to focus on that more dynamic energy. While we're at it, why don't we give him some cute punk hair? Full of triangles. So now we have 3 different characters using 3 different shapes, conveying very different emotions. So now that we have our sketches, if you're at home working with a pen and paper, you can grab another paper to place on top of it. So now you can create a clean drawing where you select only the lines you want to keep, completely ignoring your guides. If you have an eraser, then you could clean it up by erasing all the lines you don't want. And if you're working digitally, just create another layer, set the opacity on the one that you've been working on to much lower and use it as a guide. And now grab whatever tool you want and select only the lines you want to keep. This way you can have a clean drawing to work with as your final drawing. So I'm only selecting the lines I want to keep and I'm completely ignoring my guides. Got my little pupil. Then I go to the little happy face. Oh, that happy face is way too jaggedy. Let's round it up for a round, cute character. Then I'm gonna move over to my square. And if you guys have a ruler at home, grab your ruler. Make those lines nice and sharp. And if you're working digitally, grab the ruler tool and do the exact same thing. Remember guys, you're only selecting the lines you wanna keep. Whoops. And you are completely ignoring any lines that you don't. And have fun with your characters. There's this little beady eyes. His yelling, determined face. His little tongue. His handy dandy arms are gonna help us lift some boulders. Ready to do squats over here as well. And now our last character, the triangle. We have our triangle spiked hair, our little triangle body, our long triangle eyes, long triangle. Look at that. I was able to incorporate triangles a lot in this character. Make him look very dynamic. And he is leaping off the page. So then when you are done, you could turn off your original layer and all you have left is your clean line art. Woo-hoo! There we have it. There we have it. 3 characters with their own shape and their own emotion. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. Make sure to share your shape-based characters in the comments or tag me on social media. And remember, each shape tells a story. And if you want to learn more, make sure to be subscribed to my newsletter that goes along with these videos and teaches you a lot more extra stuff. So go to my bio, hit that link, join that list. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, And I can't wait to see you guys next time on our drawing adventure where we're going to cover even more about cute characters. Bye.